Welcome all of you to Marketing Lab once again. In our earlier videos, we have discussed briefly on targeting audiences and best practice of email marketing. So whenever we're talking about any sort of marketing activity, be it email marketing or any other sort of channels we are using, targeting and correct audience becomes an integral part of it. So in this video, we will be discussing some few tips and tricks to target our correct audience so that our campaign will get effective result at the end of the day. You would have observed while opening any of any online websites or on any online shopping website that those sites give you recommendations to buy some of their products. And if you notice that those products would be in line of your recent searches, be it Google, be it in that particular site itself. Here I've given an example of Amazon where they provide the recommendations for you. So how do they get it? How do they get the clue that you would be interested in buying such a product? So we are going to discuss some hints about that only in going on further slides. Targeting is essentially important for any sort of campaign because until and unless you target your audience carefully, your ultimate ROI for that campaign will not be effective. Everybody wants whatever money they're investing in their channel, in their efforts, that should get replicated in terms of leads and in terms of conversion. So it becomes very important to target your audience carefully, and to target them you need to have the insights of your correct audience. You need to have insight of your audience so that you can specifically pick and choose your intended people, so that and get much confirm that they are going to buy your product. All these things bring us to the data driven customization of our platforms, of our marketing campaigns. In nowadays, whatever marketing automation platforms we have or whatever tools we have available in the market, they always keep all these things into consideration, and they provide such features so that they can actually capture the interesting moments of your buyers to identify the correct audience that can be replicated in your targeted audience. We will discuss about functionalities of these marketing platforms in our later videos, but today we are going to discuss about how they capture all these insights and how do they target audiences and segments. Consumers increasingly expect when they share information from marketers. See, there are a lot of ways where when you capture information from marketers, like their PI information, their product of interest, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you explicitly ask by asking them to filling out forms, and sometimes you get insight from their online behavior as well. But in both of these processes, consumer expects you to use their information in wisely manner. When we talk about wise manner, what is that? It's again the recommendations that you offer to them. They expect you to analyze their needs, analyze their behaviors, and and recommend you better product, and uh, probably or a interested product to them. Otherwise, they will obviously what will be purpose of them to sharing their PI with marketeers. One of the most valuable ways to use consumer product is to segment and target your list. There are a few testimonies I have mentioned over here. Email marketers estimate 30% of email revenue derives from target specific segments. See, nowadays marketers also become very intelligent. They are not going to spend their money in any way, any untargeted audience, because they know that even if they shoot out millions of emails, until and unless that will be targeted, they won't get the intended ROI. So it is the marketers also become very smart nowadays, and they effectively use targeted audience pretty well. Segmented and email campaigns produce 30% more open than undifferentiated messages. Ultimately, if your email will get open, will ultimately lead to the conversion of lead only. So if you're conducting email marketing, the open and click rates also become an important parameter for your success of your campaign. 76% of all email marketing revenue comes from more advanced tactics like generic broadcast email. Generic broadcast email is again the bulk email which we send without any intended targeted audience. This is this is a study done by Marketo team. Marketo is a marketing and platform, marketing automation platform, which has some research where it can easily infer that engagement level differs from segmentation. The less the targeted audience's engagement level will be high. That means the more niche target audience you will select out of your pool, the engagement level will be high. What's the reason of that? When you choose a targeted audience, it will be dependent on certain behavior or certain demographic attribute. So whenever you plan any campaign for that particular niche audience, it will be specifically as per the requirement of that pool of audience. So when you will provide the relevant content to particular audience, the engagement level will definitely will be high. It can clearly show in this scattered cluster in this cluster graph that engagement level will be high if you have a small targeted audience. In next picture, you can see the ROI impact of different sort of marketing tactics we can use in any sort of internet campaign. You can see the segmentation has a high probability to giving of a ROI impact. There are multiple channels available like drip marketing, dynamic content, triggered emails, text emails, and sales representative, and many others. But of these all, we can easily see that segmentation gives you higher ROI than compared to other channels. It's not that segmentation can only provide you high ROI when it will get implemented in SOLAS. It has to be combination of each and every tactic. Practically, if you're speaking, all tactics has to be used effectively with appropriate time at appropriate time and with appropriate consideration. So that then only your marketing campaign will be quite effective. However, when we compared all these tactics at individual level, segmentation gave us the high ROI impact. Now, segmentation can be based on demographic attribute. It can be behavioral attributes. Demographic attributes are like gender, age, job titles, location, and so on and so forth, which we explicitly asked while filling a registration form or any sort of information when you explicitly ask from consumers. And these are explicit attributes that consumer knows about him, that you can also ask from any lead or any visitor on your website. Now another important aspect of segmentation is from behavioral attribute. Here is the trick lies. These are the things that runs in a subconscious mind, and you need to go into visitors or your prospective consumers mind to get all these details, like the which link he clicked, which product you bought, have you revisited any specific page. So these are the things which can give you hint of of product of interest of that particular lead. Like if any lead is revisiting any specific page again and again on a daily routine, so that means he is having a plan to buy certain things. Like I am visiting any TV website again and again, like Samsung website, and I'm particularly emphasizing on any Samsung particular TV. So I am visiting that page again and again. I am using that page to compare that particular product with other brands available in the market like LG and so on and so forth. So you can easily infer by that data that nowadays I am planning to purchase a TV, so that you can have a more recommendations to me, so that I can make a more efficient decision on that. So these sort of tricks you can infer from the online behavior of consumers, that can really help you to provide better recommendations and can help you for on better engagement. When you will get an idea about all these things, you will definitely, when provide the better content to that particular lead, it will have a better engagement, and that engagement will ultimately lead to the your selling stage. Now this is a typical example of demographic targeting. You can have two examples of email of same product, but as you can see, the picture which you have used, the picture of the models which we have used are of different age. So it clearly signifies the importance of demographic targeting. The left hand side email is primarily targeted for the person who would be in age bracket of 25 to 30, and right hand side image is primarily targeted to the person who is having age group 45 to 50. So these sort of the picture which you have used, the language of an email which you use, the offer which you provide to the consumer, it can be greatly differentiated on basis of age, job title, your country, language preference, and so on and so forth. So these are the demographic targeting which you can easily use, and it can be an effective manner to provide a better content, a clickable content to the to your consumers. Now, how we define these different sort of consumer groups? We call it a buyer persona. Buyer persona is nothing but a research based profile of archetype typical customers that represent the needs of many. Like we have a set of character, a set of behavior. We name that set of behavior like one particular sort of a profile. So this sort of profiles are called buyer persona, and we can plan our marketing effort per buyer persona. You can't have one strategy for all buyer personas. You have to differentiate your buyer persona, your campaign as per your different sort of segments. Now let's talk about behavioral targeting. Like we already discussed, it's about it's about getting clues what consumers are not providing you directly. They are not telling you directly that I am interested in this particular thing. They will behave in such a manner that you can infer that these leads are interested in this thing. So it's a highly predictive of a future decision making pattern and road to purchase activity. How we can track that? Browser research, search activity, social sharing activity, email open click, content consumed. These are the few activities you can easily track of your consumer, of your targeted audience, and different, and and you can infer that these my targeted leads are interested in this sort of a product. Then tracking and analyzing their online behavior basis these attributes, you can decide there which buyer stage they are in. What is the problem statement of a buyer? What is their product of interest? What is their dislikes and motivation? Like if we take an example, we are analyzing a browser search history of any particular lead, and he is again and again going and comparing the two brands of refrigerators. You can easily infer by that comparison that he is into a consideration stage. He has taken a decision that he is going to buy a refrigerator, but he has not finalized his product or a brand. So you can provide the relevant content to relevant information to that particular lead so that he can finalize on his decision, and he can finally reaches from consideration to buyer stage. Now statement of a buyer. Sometimes you will observe that when then leads are consumers are going on internet and searching about the how to solve their problem, like hair shedding. Hair loss is a common problem these days. The leads are going haywire on the internet, and they are finding out what are solutions for hair loss. You can easily provide them content which can talk about how to resolve their problem of hair loss and subsequently provide your product to them. So it's a problem statement. In that way, you can very easily connect with an individual consumer. He will think that you are genuinely interested in his problem, and you are trying to provide a solution. See, nowadays it's not essentially, you can't expect them to buy your product whenever you straight away pitch to them and they will buy the product. You have to provide them solution. You have to get engaged with that consumer. They will have to feel that they are important. You'll have to feel that somebody is caring about the problem. Until otherwise they will not be interested, because there's a lot of competition available in this market. If you will not do so, somebody else will do so. Product of interest. If somebody is again and again repeatedly going on certain product, that definitely infer that he is interested in that particular product, and you can easily get a clue to provide content to that guy. Dislikes. You can The time spent on any particular page or any particular content can clearly give you clue that what he likes and what he dislikes. You can easily track watch time of any video. You can easily track the watch time of any website page, and it can be easily identified the which of the product or which content he is not concerned about, or he is not interested at least that point of time. Now you need to integrate your email campaigns or any online campaigns with these sort of clues, which you will getting by tracking the browser history, social sharing history, then infer and then utilizing those activity trends into their buyer stage, their problem stage. Then how will you deliver the content? You will use your email campaigns, you will use your digital marketing campaigns, or any channel you are using for your marketing effort. You have to integrate those email campaigns. You have to provide the relevant content, relevant offers at relevant time. You need to decide all those things to generate a exact correct impact. So as you can understand by this diagram, to creating a buzz and to creating an impact on an individual mind, so that he finally leads to buy a product, you need to analyze its activity on internet. You need to infer what are the important and pain points of that particular lead by analyzing their activity, their internet activity, and then inline your email campaign or marketing effort accordingly, so that it creates a major impact on buyer's decision. Now this is a small comparison between untargeted and targeted emails. As you can see, untargeted broadcast emails having a just open rate of 20%, and when you do a similar activity with targeted or triggered, it reaches up to from 27% to 33% itself. The conversion rate also get tripled from 1.1% to 3.9%. So you can easily infer the what is the gravity of the importance of this targeted emails you can use while you're implementing a marketing effort. As you know, 17% of worldwide organizations are matured enough, but 17% is still very low percentage. As you know, there's a whole world available. It means have everywhere nowadays using digital media to market their products, but only 17% of worldwide organization are aware enough to use such a targeted segmentation or targeted audience, to target their audience in such a manner so that to get a effective ROI. Overall, they perform better in revenue growth, 53% as the 41%. It's a difference of 12%, a huge amount when you talk about numbers. The dollars which you can earn in this gap of percentage is huge. So, in this video, we have discussed about the importance of demographic targeting, behavior targeting. We have discussed about the how the basic nutshell flow chart or basic nutshell operational flow chart for behavioral targeting, what all things has to be kept in mind, how to integrate and what to integrate and where when to integrate. In next video we will be talking about how to implement these behavioral targeting. So we will take some examples. We will take some examples of major organizations which have used behavioral targeting in very efficient manner to get their results. So stay tuned for that, and I would again request to please like and subscribe and share my videos. This is some common tactics which we use for behavioral targeting, like campaign response, content download, event invitation. Sometimes you can observe that your campaign response having is quite different with content download and event invitation. Like you have provided certain content and you have invited an audience for certain event, but your content download is getting more response in your event invitations. So it can clearly infer that the audience might not be able to physically in person in your event, so it's quite logical to provide them content itself. Re-emailing the same content, same email after a certain period of time, it has been observed that it reminder gets a good response as compared to the first email. Customer content interaction, repeated visits to some specific page. We have discussed it earlier. If some lead is visiting again and again to some specific page, it can be clearly inferred that person having an interest in that particular product, and you can provide the relevant content to the lead. Revenue stage, that can also be inferred. The awareness, consideration, and the buyer journey can be inferred by your online activity. Transactional data basically used in financial institutions, by analyzing a bank's data, you can easily infer the what is the spending habit of any particular person, and in that way you can easily pitch them a cross sell, upsell like credit cards and all. We will discuss all these things in much detail in our next videos, but it's just a nutshell of how are the common tactics which we have worldwide available. Non-activity, you are running some campaigns, but there is no response for that particular campaign, so it's a buzz to, for you to react. Propensity model, it's a artificial intelligence integrated propensity models which is based on past data that can help you to infer the future behavior of any lead, and you can easily pitch them a correct product. Anniversaries, it's a very effective tool. When you get a data, when you ask for a data for any individual, and you have the anniversary date, you can easily design a campaign which can trigger an email to the guy just 2 days prior to his anniversary to buy something for her spouse or something like that. So it can be really a triggered is a common example, it's a classic example of triggered email based on certain event which is going to happen. Replenishment dates, we have a perishable products. The nowadays we used to have so many online groceries available where replenishable products is getting sold out. So by buying behavior, you can easily infer then how what is the time period on which the particular lead is buying out same product on a regular basis. So you can plan your discount offer, or you can plan your volume offer accordingly, so that it can be greatly effective. So this is for that's it for this video. I expect your questions and comments on this video, and I will again, as promised earlier, in next video I'll come up with some organization case studies which has implemented behavioral targeting in a really effective manner, so that we can easily understand what are tips and what are tactics they actually implement in a practical world to get better results. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.